Hello, Internet, and hello to everybody hanging out in the live chat with us. You're listening to the Making Geeks podcast, the podcast for makers, dads, and geeks. This is episode 97. On this episode, we have our four hosts here for you, starting off with Mr. Josh Price.
Hey, everybody.
We also have Mr. Mark O'Keefe with us.
What's going on?
Everybody's best friend, Mr. Wes Wayne.
Hey, hello. Am I?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I'm Sean Jolliker.
What's up, Sean?
God, 97. I just got nervous.
And,
Why,
should we just...
why did you get nervous?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and open with that. So, Mark, why are you nervous?
Because this 100 thing is turning into a... We're a professional opening act at this point.
What do you mean?
And I don't want to let anyone down.
Professionals are really, a little bit of a stretch.
Well, it's a subjective term.
Opening act where?
Live mic night at the Cincinnati Lap Club.
The Apollo.
Buffet breakfast. Bring your kids.
We're opening for Starfire at the strip club. No. Maker Faire Bay Area.
That's fun.
We will be the opening act.
Saturday, and Saturday.
We're starting it off.
We've got an hour time block, 11 to noon on the content creator stage.
What is that Eastern?
11, 10, 9, 8.
2 o'clock?
2. Gotta go the other way.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go the other way. I'm thinking Hawaii.
Yeah.
So the 5 people in Hawaii that listen to this show.
But for the flat earthers, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
No,
It's all one time zone.
there are no time zones. It's all a lie.
Yep. We're all gonna be at Maker Faire.
What the hell has happened?
Mark just smacked his camera and his microphone.
What's our topic,
Yes,
Josh?
so-
Skype works weird on this thing.
What is it technically? I mean, I should
It's
read it. like, our
Reimagining
official
Dad's
title.
Workshop, inspiring a new generation of makers.
That's right.
How to get your toddlers to work a table saw.
Yup.
So we put this into motion a couple of months ago, and we've been trying to follow up on and get confirmation, and it just got posted officially a couple of days ago.
Yep.
And I think that we all kind of screamed a little bit like little schoolgirls, knowing that this thing is going to be real now.
Yup.
Even though we presented live once before, I think that this venue and the context here is a little bit of a, I don't want to say a bigger deal because I think the other one was a really big deal too. But it kind of feels, I don't know, how would you guys describe
Well, Bob put it in context like this: that the content creator tent or the stage, like, is usually where he has to get up and speak, where he's done panels and things in the past. And even in the email that we got, like, it has seating for 25 people and then standing room. And Bob was like, "You guys performed in front of like over 200 people for the first time." He's like, "So that crowd, like, looking at the mass that was just like seated bodies, potentially seated bodies, he's like, is a tenth of what you guys did before." He's like, "So if you're worried about like if you're worried about the crowd size," he's like, "Don't be, because you've already done it."
I don't think it's the number of people that matters, though. I just think that the fact that this is Maker Faire, and I think there's less people that might potentially be familiar with us, although all 30 or 40 seats will probably be filled with people that we know.
I was just gonna say that.
I think I'm bringing 15 people, so I'm gonna have half the seating to for people that know me already.
And Bob
We'll
also
kinda
made a
salt
good
the
point.
audience.
Yeah, about trying to get audience interaction, which is something I was worried about the first time, because, I mean, we were really new when we went to Boston. So if you guys are coming, if you're in the live chat, if you're listening and you're coming to Maker Faire, you better be ready with some questions, because I will call on you awkwardly. But yeah, he was like, prompt people, because we're talking about reinventing or reimagining, quote unquote, like Dad's Workshop. So have a point like, look, we're going to ask you about things that were specific to your dad's workshop, those iconic pieces you remember as a kid. So think about them now, because in like 5 minutes, we're going to call on you and we're going to ask you about them, or this is that time. So you're not just like, hey, tell me about a thing. And then you look out and you're trying to get a response while people are still processing the question. So it's give lead time, which I thought was a really good point.
Well, and technically, you don't really even need an audible response from them. What you need is them to be thinking in the same headspace that you're going to be presenting.
True, but I mean, it would be good if you had a little back and forth too.
I can make worksheets for them.
You can. Under your chair, you will find a quick survey. Pass it to the left.
That'd be hilarious. Got a Google form for them to fill out.
So we're hoping for some Q&A at the end to add up a little bit of time. But you guys know who's following us on stage?
Electro Boom.
Electro Boom, the Indian guy who shocks the crap out of himself.
There was some really, really good company over those couple days on that stage.
Or they are with good company.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, we are going to record that episode. So that will be episode 100. So it's going to... Ooh, we're recording on a Saturday. And it may be a late Saturday or Sunday or some other day in the distant future once we recover from that weekend that it'll be posted.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I'm almost thinking about just posting it raw and posting it as quickly as we can after.
Well, let's see how it goes first. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited because we were under the impression it was a 25-minute time block, and then all the all the stuff that we got has an hour. So,
you know what? I'll be honest. I could not be happier that we are going first, because if we were going like later in the day,
Yeah, stressing
I'd be
all day.
walking. I'd be walking around thinking about this thing I still have to go do and how nervous I might be doing it, but I can get out of the way and just enjoy the rest of the fair.
take your nervous dump in
And-
the morning. Smart.
I usually save for right before lunch.
I'm a pre-breakfast pooper.
Good to know.
I'm saving that clip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't remember when Bob's supposed to speak. He didn't even know until you guys started talking about all the... I think, Sean, you posted everybody who was speaking.
Yeah, on Sunday he's scheduled so far.
Yeah.
Which
He doesn't
unfortunately I
have a
won't be there,
topic.
but
I think for him, they don't really assign him a topic. They just kind of let him talk. But I think he said that this is not an official thing, but he's...
Yeah.
I think David and Jimmy are coming also. So it'd be a little
They're
making it
working on
100
it still.
reunion.
So how you guys doing this week? It's been about a week since we've talked, I believe.
Yep.
Roughly. You guys up to anything interesting?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been playing with the Nintendo Labo, as I know a couple of us have been. That thing's a lot of fun. A lot of
Dude,
fun.
it's super fun.
The engineering that was required to make all this stuff happen, just like the ingenuity of like how different pieces interact and like like they use cardboard in really interesting ways. Like if I was to design some of these components, I was like, oh, why don't you use the rubber band here because it'll help this, and like, oh, let's just use a cardboard and fold it in this one particular way so the cardboard itself acts as a spring, and they use the cardboard for all different sort of configurations that I would not have expected. Really clever.
So you guys saw a lot of the promotional stuff before it even came out, but now that you have it in your hands, is there anything that you've really been surprised or impressed by after messing with this for a couple days?
We have done the robot and the fishing game, the only two that we've done so far. I'm surprised at the fishing game at how challenging it can be.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's difficult. I expected it oh, this is geared for kids, and you unreel it so it goes down in the water, and if you stay in a shallow water, you can kind of catch little mackerel, the little holy mackerel as they call them. So I go to the bottom into the trench, and there's great white sharks and swordfish and stuff.
Anglerfish,
And,
yeah.
yeah, and so I go to reel them up, and the line gets really taut, and the line breaks just like you're legitimately fishing. So I'm trying to use real fishing styles and fishing techniques in this game, and I have still yet to catch a fish because I go for the massive ones.
Yeah.
And I keep breaking a line. I'm
Me
like,
too.
come on, this thing is supposed to be easy. and it's surprisingly challenging. Like it's a good mixture of like a really fun project for kids and parents, and a good game for kind of kids and who it's not really challenging. And then for the parents, which it's like, this takes some talent. Like you need to pay attention. So that's one thing that kind of surprised me is that the level of quality and the level of difficulty that they put in the games.
Yeah, Samantha and Catherine and Grant were out of town this weekend, so I got to do a lot of the stuff by myself, and then also I did some of it on the stream on Twitch, and I had a buddy Dan over, and we did the robot kit, and I think we had and we had a lot of fun playing it. I think Robert came over. Yeah, Robert came over and did some of the kits with me too. Robert Riles, he's a near local maker that you guys have met. I think a couple of you guys, and so far we did like the fishing one. We did a motorbike, the robot kit. We just did the piano today. Samantha got her hands on the Labo for the first time.
Piano.
And as she's building it, she said, "This is more fun than watching TV." And I was like, "Boom, there you go."
Wow.
And she likes TV. I'm just saying. So she was really. Well, she kind of took her a little bit to kind of get her in the headspace of, what the thing's expecting you to do, and how, how gentle and rough you can be with the material, not be afraid to kind of manhandle a little bit to get the pieces to fit together and stuff like that. And after a while, I just let her kind of do it, and she was putting stickers on stuff and getting it all working, and we got to play the piano. It was pretty awesome. A lot of clever stuff you can do with that, and we haven't even fully explored it. And that's another thing that I think a lot of the reviews didn't really help the argument, in that they were like, "Oh, you build the thing for 2 hours, then you play like a little mini game." But a lot of these builds, they have like lots of other things you can build to them, like later on, to like tweak things and modify things. Like the robot, you can build like these wrenches that go into the sides and do all kinds of manipulation. You can like fine tune your creation.
Is that what the holes in the side are for?
Yeah, you make like wrenches, like Allen wrenches, and you stick them into the side of the robot when you're in like the Robo Studio Creator or something like that, and you actually
the garage.
The garage, yeah. You actually turn it while it's in the backpack, like you're tuning like a car, and it changes things on screen. It tracks the motion of the thing you put in, and when you put in different holes in the backpack, it does different things. I think there's even a hole that's hidden inside. You take the top off, and there's a hole in the top that's supposed to do something as well. So it kind of lends you to like explore all kinds of little features, and it's those extra things that are on top of the normal experience, I think, that really adds like longevity to this whole system, which is pretty cool. So, and to make it even more interesting, I got my laser working. That I have like a little diode laser on my X-Carve, and I took some pizza boxes and managed to cut my own special custom Nintendo Labo items as like a test, and I'm actually going to create some other stuff that you can use in the garage mode to make custom controllers and other things like that. So I'm trying to get that finished shortly, but it's a lot of fun. That's enough about that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's worth it. If you have
yeah.
maker kids, like, go get it. It's the perfect blend.
It is.
Yeah.
Mark, what have you been up to?
Sorry about that. I've been working on a couple pieces for my 3D printer enclosure, and I've been building me and my wife got a lookout tower for my daughter for the backyard. So just a jungle gym, swings, slides, stuff. It took me 3 days to build. So it's like 10 hours the first day, 6 hours the second day, and then I started today around 2 or 3 o'clock, and I finished by 7. So my stuff kind of got pushed aside this week for multiple reasons. We've had we've had a bunch of extra stuff to do to compensate for a couple things that happened recently. But I hope to have. I've got so many ideas for so many things right now, and I'm trying to just organize them. So right now it's get the one 3D printer back up and running, and then we'll go and see what happens. But yeah, I'm back in kind of miscellaneous mode. Just do what needs to be done at the moment. Sean, what about you?
I've been bouncing between a lot of different things this week. I'm trying to set up my curriculum for next year, and I have to put in a request for software for the 3D animation class I'm going to be teaching. And I'm trying to decide between Maya and Blender as 3D software. I'm going for Maya, but the problem with that is that I have to teach the class using MacBook Airs.
Hmm.
And I have Maya on my MacBook Air right now, and I'm running it, and it works okay as far as the modeling goes. The rendering is a little bit funky, but I
The
don't
dog?
know yet.
Hmm.
But I don't know if Blender's any better. 3D animation is an intensive, computer-intensive activity, especially when you have to render stuff out. And if we're supposed to eventually be doing animation, well, that means rendering hundreds of frames, not just a single still image. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. See other news. I might be getting a 3D printer through work, so I put that request in, and they said, sure, we'll send one your way.
Ooh, which one?
It's going to be either. There's only two being distributed in the district right now, and it's MakerBot and this other 3D printer called New Matter, which is kind of messed up because that company just closed their doors in February.
Nice. Classic.
Yeah. And then I put out a new article on my blog site. So I'll link to that in the show notes. So like I said, I've been bouncing between a lot of different things right now. Have you, Josh?
I got a lot of work done this past weekend. And my shop has been in disarray. I've had like a bunch of half-done projects I talked about. So I finished the wood rack. So I have that gigantic like truckload of walnut is now off the floor and now distributed on the walls and wood racks. I finished my bed, which is the bed out of the sheet of plywood with a couple other little tiny pieces in parentheses. So that was the Craig Tools project. So that's done and on my website right now. So I had to make a set of plans for their DIY plan site called Build Something. So those are being reviewed for approval right now. What else did I do? I did not do anything with the dining room table, like I probably should have. But it's been a real productive time in the shop. I got a lot of stuff done, a lot of stuff cleared out. I think I got finally all of my stuff from Bob's back over here in the house. Little by little, I just have to find a place to put everything, which is a problem that I haven't really had. I had to fit everything in a tiny little closet and everything was right there. And now I have stuff all over the place. So I have real estate now and it's just kind of strange. I have options. But I just finished taking all the beauty shots for the bed. So that blog post is done. But yeah, I've just been real productive on my stuff as well as Bob's stuff. We've been working. I like to make stuff, making silly things. I showed you guys the silly thing that we made, right? That one should be coming out pretty soon. But yeah, no, I've just been busy. It's good. It's a good kind of busy. The productive feeling busy. And we got a bunch of emails from Make the other day, so that was exciting. Butterflies in the stomach, productive, good feeling. So, we have some people in the live chat today that are blasting away some recommendations, which we really like. You guys want to go with the cartoon one? Or you want to go with Donovan's most recent question, and then we can go to the cartoon one? Donovan asked, is anybody doing the Rockler Plywood Challenge? What is that?
Don't know.
So, from what I understand, the guys at the Modern Maker podcast That's Chris Salamone, Mike Montgomery, and Ben Ueda. I guess last year they did like or not last year, but recently they did a challenge with like two by fours, and they had a really good response. So now they're doing one with Rockler, that is like, what can you make from a sheet of plywood? So I submitted my bed that I just made. Donovan's working on, I think, a bookcase, cool looking bookcase. Chris Salamone made like a coffee table. But yeah, so are you guys interested in doing something like that, or are you interested in any of these challenges that are bouncing all around?
I would love to do one once I have more organized time. Because I wanted... go, Sean.
I'm interested, but I think that getting around to do anything, I'm usually about 3 months late. So I usually just don't start.
They are pretty timely, and that's how I feel about the Art of Geek Challenge, Wes, that you guys have. I'm like, oh, I have a great idea, and by the time I think of it,
Yeah.
like the new month has rolled around.
One
and
month
it's
is hard
done.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know what it is, like until the beginning of the month. So then you're like thinking of it, and you really end up with like a lot less than a month. Hopefully, I can submit something for that. I haven't started yet, but I've done most of the legwork in the months past. So.
Well, I have one for this month's challenge, but I don't know if it's going to be released in time,
right,
officially, that I could post it to the challenge. So it's a conundrum, because I'm like, oh, I finally have a thing that I can contribute. But there's this, I like to make stuff project that I made for the channel, but can't release until the video comes out. Can't spoil it. So I think I may have missed the boat yet again. What other challenges? I saw Donovan wanted to do one. He wanted to do like a really quick, like simple build, like what can you make in a short amount of time, or something. Donovan, you spell that out. Give us an elevator pitch in the comments, and then we'll give a plug to it. Oh, and he's making a Tetris TV stand, not a bookcase. If you don't know Donovan, the beardless man, he is killing it on some Instagram stories lately. Like his video quality, like it is really engaging and entertaining. You definitely need to go check out the Beardless Man. Is it I Am the Beardless Man on Instagram?
Sounds right.
I think it's I Am the Beardless Man. But yeah, he's doing a great job.
And there's a rumor he might be at Maker Faire too, so that'd be awesome if he ends up making that.
I don't know if we need to have a petition floating around to get him to go to Maker Faire, or if we just all collectively hold our breath until he decides to do it.
I think Donovan should shoot like the BTS documentary at the Making Geeks podcast.
Boom.
And then they all had pancakes. Bum, bum, bum. So he's at his build challenge. This is where you have 24 hours to build something within a certain theme or parameter. So a nice, quick, kind of one-day theoretical, one-day build.
Huh.
At 24 consecutive hours?
Right. No sleep.
1 hour over
Card.
24 days.
Work on it 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there.
No sleep for you.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of build challenges lately. But to the question earlier, see if I can find it. Or does anybody remembers it offhand?
What
The
character?
cartoon?
Yeah, Jay Grimmer asked if you guys could be any cartoon character from your childhood, who would you choose and why? Because of the skills/powers, or what reasons? And we're going to go with our encyclopedia of 80s cartoons first. I'm going to throw it to Mark.
Is this you're being the character, or you just have their powers and you're still you?
I thought I'd actually like being the character. Like a
You live
human
in their
body.
world.
I think it's a toss-up between two of them. I'd either want to be Snake Eyes, just because he's the coolest ninja ever, or Professor X, because telekinesis and telepathy are the two most handiest things you could possibly have in life.
Hmm.
Although if you were Professor X, you're paraplegic.
Is
Which
he?
is
Yeah, he's not quadro. He's
yeah,
para.
no, yeah, he's just paraplegic. He's got arms.
Oof. Doesn't mean you
And
lose
you
them.
can use them.
Well, no, I mean like he can still use his arms.
Sean from Maker on the Move basically said the same answer that I was initially thinking about, which would be Richie Rich
Bat-
because
Batman.
power to make lots of money. I think it was my wife that said that Richie Rich is Bruce Wayne without the tragedy.
That's awesome.
Well, that's pretty insightful from her. I give her a lot of credit for that one.
Oh, that's great. I love that. That's awesome.
I don't know who I'd pick.
It's hard because you have to dig through your 80s child mind of every cartoon is awesome.
Yep.
And put an adult reasoning behind it.
But see, I don't know
Which
if
is just weird.
I don't, and I guess it's like another sign of the times. I really don't care about having the most power or any of those things. It's more like, okay, which one has the most fun?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, ooh, the guys from Mask. I was like, they were in peril quite a bit.
I feel like Scooby Doo just solved mysteries all the time. Eat the Scooby snacks.
You be
Sweet.
is it Blue Falcon from the Wacky Races?
Yeah, like, Barney Rubble never seemed to have any drama. He had a super hot wife.
Bet he was always around. He was always just messing with Fred.
Yeah,
I
like,
think he was doing
just
it on
super chill.
purpose.
Hey, Freddy boy.
Hey, Freddy boy. You go
Eating
down the
giant-
bowling.
Giant dino steaks.
That's one thing I do. I am jealous of the not the Jetsons, the Flintstones.
Who
They
cleans
had
up after their
awesome
TV? You know, whoever the maid is has a terrible job in that culture.
I always
Cleans
liked
up
how
after
they're.
their dishwasher.
Right.
I always liked how there were like these polar opposites of families that were portrayed on TV during that time with the Flintstones and then the Jetsons.
I think the Flintstones and Jetsons operated in the same time zone. It's just the Jetsons were above the clouds, so you couldn't see the Flintstones.
It's a
They
cool
were
idea.
in Bespin.
They're the two different rungs of society.
Who looked down on the serfs that had to go break
Yeah.
rocks for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were so poor they decided to use dinosaurs for work.
Whoa. We just blew our own. I just blew my mind that the Jetsons
The
and Flintstones coexisted in the same universe.
Well, they had a
on the
crossover
same
episode.
planet.
The Flintstones and the Jetsons are what happens after Jurassic Park.
That's the huge economic disparity between the upper class and the low class.
Yeah.
No, let's see.
If you guys have read Seven Eves,
Huh.
like that's what happens to Earth.
The dinosaurs take over and people in flying
Dinosaurs
cars
weren't
get
there.
robots.
They had to repopulate the Earth with stuff, and there were some people that like lived in the caves that stayed down there, and they were like super primitive because they stayed on Earth during the big like apocalyptic disaster, and then they had the people in the space stations that were super superior, and
Well, it's like that's like Elysium.
Yeah.
Poor Matt Damon.
mm.
Spoiler alert.
My answer, I'm not
Ooh.
really sure. It's a little bit of a weird
Steve
one.
Rimmer
Huh?
had a good point. He said, "But West used to be Mario and constantly trying to save the princess."
No.
But the Link cartoon, like the Zelda cartoon, Link was pretty awesome. Like he was super like surfer guy, but he was still Link, and I really like that character. And when you watch the Mario Brothers Super Show on Netflix, it doesn't have the Link cartoons.
That's lame. What does it do
Eh.
during that time period, like in the show?
It just like where
Is
there
that
was
the
a
one-
cartoon, or like when there was a
Link cartoon.
commercial break, it just kind of like goes away and then comes back.
Oh,
it
it's like a
says,
shorter
stay-
episode.
Yeah, it's just like stay tuned every Friday for the Link
Weird.
one, but it never shows them.
Was that the one with Captain? I think it was Captain Lou Albano, the dude
Yes.
with all the rubber bands and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rubber
No,
bands as
I-
earrings.
I remember that cartoon. I just don't remember that cartoon.
I watched it and then didn't want to watch it again.
What cartoon was it?
The Super Mario one.
The one you're
The
talking
Mario
about.
show. Yeah.
Oh,
My-
really?
My
Originally, when it came on, it was like Captain Lou Albano was kind of sort of dressed up as Super Mario, and he was doing the commercial breaks.
Yeah, they have a live action component that kind of
Mhm.
introduces a lot of the shows, and he was a so-called pro wrestler in the 1980s, the guy that played Mario.
Really?
One of his dumb trademarks was he had rubber bands for earrings.
Hmm.
I don't know why.
Wes, did you see that cartoon I posted in Slack last night?
I think so.
It was called Hyrule Nights,
Yes,
and it's an Amazon Prime exclusive,
it's not
and it's like
legit though. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It's not new.
it's not.
No.
Amazon Prime links to some weird stuff from YouTube.
Oh yeah, Atlantic Rim.
My choice. I have a couple different choices. My first choice would be Captain N. Do you guys remember that?
Oh,
I
God.
do remember that.
He had the
was
Nintendo
the
controller
princess
for
from
the
that?
belt buckle. It was a Nintendo cartoon. It was like a kid playing Nintendo. He gets sucked into the game. He had an NES controller for a belt buckle, and he could hit start and pause the whole world around him at any time. He could like super jump and run by hitting the
But
controller
he also
on
had the
his belt buckle.
zapper and the
Yeah.
glove.
Yep. And he would like cross. It was cross-platform show. They had Mega Man in there, and they fought against Mother Brain, and Link was in there, and Mario. It was like a ultimate crossover Nintendo.
Was Mario in it?
I think so. I could be wrong
I
about
don't
that.
think Mario was in it. I think it was
The other
it
ones.
was Simon. It was Simon Belmont,
Belmont.
Kid
Okay.
Icarus,
Yep.
Mega Man, who was horrible, and then I think it was a princess. So I think it was the princess from Mario.
And Mother Brain. That was the villain.
And yeah, there was the bad guys were Mother Brain.
You don't remember this, Josh?
The eggplant guy. That was from Icarus. That's all I can remember. I know it was Mother Brain and the eggplant guy. I know there was more. I just can't remember.
Let me look up a picture here.
My
I remember that there was a show called that, but I don't remember as many details as you guys.
Captain
Mark, you
Game
need to go on
Master.
some sort of
Yeah.
Mark, you need to go on some sort of like old
Trivia.
cartoon game show.
This is why I'm in the situations that I get in.
My other
There's
answer.
so much information that could make me rich, but they're sorry, Rest.
My other answer is a little bit of a weird one. I would be Gadget Hack Wrench from Rescue Rangers.
Yep.
She's like the ultimate maker, and she could fix anything, come up with anything, out of anything. She was basically MacGyver in the Disney universe, essentially.
In a mouse form.
Yeah.
Does that make what was the other guy's name? Montgomery Jack. Is that like the Sam Axe of Chippendale Rescue Rangers?
I don't get the reference.
Do you know Sam Axe?
No,
Burn Notice.
never seen it.
You gotta watch Burn Notice. That was a good
Did
show.
the guy from that show where he lost the movie where he lost his memory?
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, never mind. Who would I be? I don't know. I'd be probably one of the Centurions like I keep raving about just because they were just cool. Like, all of them. Ace McCloud got to, like, just fly in the sky and go into space, and Max Ray got to, like, go underwater whenever he wanted to and, like, blow stuff up.
I did like Max Ray the best.
Get to have a cool dog. Just, like, follows you around. The chicken in Space Ranger got to have an orangutan. Like, it seems... Out of all the payload choices to like send into space, like you gotta have the orangutan. Like that's a must. Gotta spend rocket fuel on sending that primate up into the space station. That girl's gonna get bored. Who else? Raphael, probably.
From which incarnation?
Any of them? He's always the best one.
The OG cartoon. Yeah. Oh, Sean, what about you?
I still don't really have much of an answer. when the question was first asked, I think my initial response was like He-Man, and I don't know why. I think it's probably just the cartoon that I think I remember the most from my youth, and I think it's because I had some of the toys. So going along with this guy that seemed kind of nerdy, didn't wasn't really paid a lot of attention, but then of course had this secret where I guess most powerful person in the universe as far as the line goes, and I don't know, that kind of appealed to me a little bit as a kid. But that's really about it. As you guys have been talking, I've been trying to go through like my memories of cartoons I watched, and I don't know if I really want any of those lives or powers. I still kind of like the Richie Rich answer of my
So,
dollar.
I remember when VH1 did the like remember the 80s kind of thing, and they had all these comedians on there that were making fun of He-Man and saying how gay he was. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I got really offended because it was messing with my childhood. And then you watch a lot of those scenes.
Fabulous superpowers were revealed to me.
I'm like,
The hair doesn't help.
Pink.
Like,
Yeah.
he seems hella gay. I'm like, okay, I can kind of see that now. Like, that's where like the ambiguously gay duo kind of whole theme kind of came from.
I
I'm
walked
like,
in.
no.
My wife sent me a text the other day because my daughter discovered it in my Plex server, and she's like, I hear from the other room, ride Battle Cat, ride Battle Cat. I come in the room and she's trying to ride the dog.
Nice.
I think it's one of the reasons why I like the idea too, because I think Battle Cat is one of the coolest characters I had seen in the 80s.
Yeah, he was one of the weirdest ones though. Like, out of everyone in He-Man, like Prince Adam and He-Man are kind of the same dude, like mentally, except one can just act better on the morals than the other guy. Cringer is
Complete
Scooby-Doo,
opposite.
basically.
Yeah.
And then Battle Cat comes in, and Battle Cat's like your drunk friend. He's like scared of everything, but then you get a couple beers in him, and then he wants to fight everybody.
I think it's steroids and like antidepressants.
It's not magic, it's just microscopic needles flying from the sword.
No, there are needles on the inside of the armor. It like pierces his skin. It's like constant
He-
injections. Yeah.
He's drugging his planet and trying to turn him into a soldier.
Why is my voice all weird?
I'm Adam, He-Man.
That's what happens when the testicles shrink after the steroids.
It's only temporary steroids because they grow back after the fact.
I mean, the action figure of Cringer was pretty neutered, so I guess that's true.
I'm glad you checked.
I still absolutely love the toys that made a story of how Cringer came to be.
Yeah.
We need a thing. We need him to ride on a thing. Get the tiger. It's 3 times the size. Just get the tiger.
I've been looking for a toy tiger like that in the stores just so I could take it and paint it for a project.
I
And so
just
could
saw.
actually 3D print some armor for it.
Hit a
I
craft
saw the
store.
actual Battle Cat and He-Man that you can buy. I forgot how much the set was. I think it was like $60.
Too much.
Was it a new
Natty
one?
collector.
It's a new set?
No, it's not new. It's the original set. At that toy store. We got a toy store in the mall that has like old 80s toys and stuff.
At Target, they
Yeah, like-
just came back out with, they just came out with a new line of toys that I keep picking them up, and I'm like, nope, I can't do it. And I think it's Funko, like their spinoff where they're making more realistic figures, and it's all the Disney Afternoon stuff. They got Baloo and Scrooge McDuck, and like a lot of them are just like right there at Target. I'm like, oh, you jerks! It's like you're marketing directly to me, and I cannot do this right now.
That's what Target does. People get
know.
mad that Alexa is listening to you, and they put stuff on Google Ads, but Target does the exact same thing.
Yep.
I just saw the Mega Constructs, which is like the Mega Blocks version of stuff. They have a limited He-Man line, but they just came out with they're going to be coming out with the Wind Raider, and I'm just like, oh no, you're coming out with sets now. This is going to be bad. They know they have us too. They hit that little trigger in the back of your brain, like, oh, do you remember He-Man? What if he was in Lego form? Yeah, that sounds awesome. Little He-Man?
We He-Man, we man.
I think I would
All
be
right.
Lionel too. Lionel was pretty awesome.
And was he a 5-year-old in a 28-year-old's body? I mean, I could definitely see the advantages of that.
He always looked like he was like in a weird stage of adolescence.
I think he was.
I don't know why that's an observation I made, but
Now let me ask you guys something. And in regards to the cartoons, did you like what Cartoon Network did when they redid He-Man and Thundercats?
Never saw
Like
it.
the new design aspect, the new style.
they redid Thundercats. I didn't even know they did that.
Didn't know they did it either.
Oh,
I don't watch cartoons
you
anymore.
gotta check that out. I liked it because like they kept the spirit of the cartoons for the most part. Like you had He-Man, like Prince Adam was this like scrawnier little kid, and then He-Man was this giant dude. So it didn't look like just a palette swap of colors and a accessory change for every single character.
Huh.
Although Thundercats, I loved the design aspect. The storytelling was just so painfully slow, which I think is why I got canceled.
I don't think kids really care about the storytelling, but that's just me.
Kids,
Well, I mean, my kids are holding on to Voltron, and if anybody can milk a storyline, it's Netflix.
The new
I think
incarnation is good, for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
2 seasons behind, but I'm still dying to see a vehicle Voltron in Netflix.
A vehicle Voltron?
Yeah, the car Voltron. Don't tell me you don't
We,
know
dis-
about
we
car
discussed
Voltron.
it
Man,
before. I
okay.
discussed it on this podcast before. How
There were three.
like,
There were three Voltrons.
I was excited to get like a Voltron for my birthday, and they got it for me, and it was the vehicle Voltron. Do you recall this? Yeah, he had like helicopters for shoulders and had like cars for feet, and it was like a lot more pieces that would assemble into a giant, super dumb looking Voltron. I'm like,
I don't think
thanks,
he was
guys.
I don't think he was dumb looking. I think just everyone
Uh,
liked the Lion. Lion Voltron was definitely better, but there was a comic book a while ago that kind of touched on how he came to be. So it was the Lion Voltron was the original Voltron, and then the Earth government stole Lion Voltron and tried to make their own Voltron, and that's how Vehicle Voltron came about.
Oh, okay. I
And
see what you're talking about.
and the Gladiator Voltron was like their first failed attempt at it.
I probably walked past this today at the vintage toy store. Had no idea what it was. Vehicle Voltron. It's like the Luigi of Voltrons.
It was. But they did do a cool finale where it was that Voltron and normal Voltron, and then Prince Lotor had a Robeast Voltron that they had to team up to fight and kill. I think that was a series finale.
Crazy.
You know, one series I always hoped for a series finale for like to have some resolution, and they never did. Every episode they would allude to Dr. Claw's face, and you always hoped they would show it, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
never did. And I'm still peeved about that. And I'm waiting for aliens to invade Earth because they've been watching this show out there in space because it's just now getting to them, and they're going to find out Dr. Claw had no face, and that's going to be end of human civilization because they had no resolution of that storyline. I called it.
hoping
Watch. Just
Yeah,
wait.
You're
Gadget
hoping
finally-
for a
just wait.
Futurama episode.
Yes, that was a callback to that. Thank you
I could
for.
have swore there was a toy that actually
Good job.
showed his face.
At least the
That-
cartoon didn't, so that's canon for me.
No, because Inspector Gadget turned the chair around. It was just the claw. He wasn't in the chair.
I know, but I could have swore they actually did a toy that showed it somehow. I don't know. Maybe that's just
Sean, I kind of remember that too, because I vividly remember there was Inspector Gadget toys where he had all his gadgets in pretty
and it
much
looked
a
like
fake-
his symbol.
Yeah. Now I gotta look that up.
Yeah, he has like white hair.
Yeah.
That's
It's on the
pointing
cartoon.
out on one side.
Which is probably some lost episode that Wes never saw.
Dr. Cloth Face. Thank you, Google.
There's a toy.
Yeah.
I don't know how
It's a new
this is.
series. No. No. I don't accept that.
Oh, well then no.
You know, it's a really engaging show when we all kind of just start Googling things and...
But we're being fluid. We're still engaging other people.
All right, if you were forced to be on Captain Planet's team,
Ugh.
what ring do you steal?
Oh, God.
What were the
Whichever one
rings?
that pollutes.
Earth, fire, water, wind, heart. No, is that right?
And heart.
Air
for
or wind?
Fire or water?
I think it was wind.
Heart. Give me a break.
Yeah. I was.
Well, that's
I was
why
like-
it was the kid with the monkey.
No, I always, even as a kid, like the little guy with the heart. I'm like, does that mean he can stop people's hearts? And why doesn't he do that more often?
Yeah, what is his
Why
power?
doesn't he just like walk up and like heart and it would like and just
His
collapse
power
on
is
the
like
floor?
super empathy or something. I don't know.
Man, that's not a good power. That's a sucky power. If somebody can call down a tidal wave or a tornado,
Yeah.
and they look to you like, "What can you do?" I'm like, I feel for you, bro. And then he just like taps himself on the
It's
chest.
a good question. What was his real power? I don't remember him doing anything.
Because he never did anything.
Do you think Captain Planet was really Al Gore?
No, Captain Planet was Don Cheadle.
No, I'm saying like literally like it was the
Oh.
like under the face paint or whatever, you know, the blue face.
It was,
No, he was.
it
he
was boring
still
enough. It
Turner.
could have been.
I really
According-
appreciated a cartoon character with a spiky mullet like I had. I felt like, at least on the surface, he represented me.
I think Sean Maker on the Move is right. Heart is the power of thoughts and prayers. Man.
Oh,
Completely worthless.
way
Man.
cooler if he could just you point in the ring at someone and just boom collapse. Severed aorta. And just, whoa. What are you doing? You're polluting? Boom. Not anymore.
I love all the Captain Planet like parodies that they have. Robot Chicken's got one. There was one where Don Cheadle was Captain Planet, and it doesn't matter who does it. Captain Planet just starts killing people.
Are there more shows that were trying to get you to be socially conscious?
Well, I mean,
Shirt
the end of
Tails? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
everything. He-Man,
I mean, besides like the end of G.I. Joe, that told you not
Silverhawks, G.I. Joe.
to
It's like
go for the apple, not the candy bar.
you're
Jenny.
talking about the main plot of the whole series revolving around that. Yeah.
There was one that was just like blatant, like social commentary.
I'm sure Snorks was pretty deep, but I don't really remember enough detail about it. I think it was though. I mean, it was
Quest.
literally deep. You know what I'm saying?
That was good. I got it.
Thank
You
you.
didn't have to spell it out.
It's for the audience out there.
See, again, it had a catchy theme song, and that's why I can remember the Schnorks.
I don't remember the Snorks one.
Go along with the Schnorks.
Oh, God.
Do you guys remember there was, I think it was before even some like the Disney Afternoon, there were some really kind of weird offshoot Disney ones. I think one's called Wuzzles.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was one of the
Yeah, I
first. That was
loved
the
those
first
as a
one.
kid.
It was the animal combination
Yeah.
things or creations.
I had those stuffed animals. I had what was it? Monkey Fly or Butter Monkey or something. He was a
It was the
monkey
first
and a
Disney
butterfly.
Afternoon cartoon.
And Bumble Lion.
Mm-hmm. I had a T-shirt of the Wuzzles. I remember seeing this shirt.
Wuzzles. Oh yeah.
I don't even feel comfortable saying that word anymore.
You can make a theme song just saying the name and oh yeah
It's true.
for everything.
Batman, oh yeah. I really hope my students don't listen to this episode.
They won't get any of the references. It's fine.
We could completely make up one of these shows, and you should ask them which one we just made up.
Oh man, Shirt Tails.
Yep. The I
Get
got
Along Gang.
Yeah. Monchichi. That's what. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
God.
what they were called. Anyone remember the Monchichis?
What?
Those are the little monkey-looking
gonna-
things with the faces.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have to censor this episode now? Because I have no idea what you just said.
No, they were the little monkey things. I have no idea if they were a cartoon or what. I just remember having these little itty bitty fuzzy monkeys with hands.
Heathcliff.
Heathcliff, yeah. And then
Gar-
was
Garfield.
We're not the same.
what was the other side of Heathcliff where it was the 4 or 5 cats?
The ones that like fought crime.
No, that was SWAT cats.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That was cats. That was cats flying fighter jets.
Then there was the sharks that fought crime.
That was
Oh,
Street
yeah.
Sharks.
Yeah.
That was weird.
So we could come up with cartoons all day longer. Like,
Well, that was
ballpark.
see, that
Who's
was-
gonna fight crime next?
Denver the
that was the cool
Denver the
thing.
dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. That was a cool thing about the reboot for
The last
Thundercats.
dinosaur.
There was a scene where they had they had the one main bad guy and he's talking to his generals, and one of them was the guy from Silverhawks, one of them was the guy from Tiger Sharks, and I think one of them was the guy from Street Sharks, but I'm not entirely sure.
See, now I'm just reaching into like barely the things I remember about shows. But I think I had to watch them like before school started.
Jason the Wheeled Warriors.
There was Pirates of the Dark Water.
Yes, I have that.
One of
I
my
love
one of my
cartoons.
favorites is Count Duckula. You guys remember that?
Yes. That was
Like just the plot
Nickelodeon.
behind it was so ludicrously amazing.
That played with Danger Mouse.
It did.
Was that the one where the opening was like, "I'll get it"?
Yes.
Was it that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, they're trying. What was it? They're trying to make a vampire, and they used ketchup instead, and it like corrupted the creation of the character.
I don't remember any of that.
No.
Nope. All I remember is the theme. That's I could never get past. I have theme songs jammed in my
Yeah,
brain.
they try to
I don't remember any character
reincarnate
names.
a duck, and it said the latest reincarnation did not run according to plan. Instead of the ritual using blood, the nanny accidentally substituted ketchup, and so instead of a blood-sucking vampire, he's a vegetarian one, looking for juicy carrots rather than hunting for victims.
Here you go. If it plays, hold on. No.
Could you imagine what those pitch meetings were in the 80s? And you just come up with any nonsense. They go, oh, okay, yeah, I think kids will watch it.
Oh yeah.
Well, you have to do a bunch of coke first, and then talk about it.
Oh God, I
You gotta
remember
come
that
up for
intro.
air from all the drugs.
Yeah, Jay has a
and then
good
just
point.
say yes.
Like kids never understand how great waking up on a Saturday morning really was. Like running down there with your breakfast cereal and watching cartoons. Like that whole ritual for a child. I remember thinking like nothing can ever be better than this. I remember like thinking that when I was a kid, like just like sitting there, no one else is up yet in the house. I was raised an only child, so I ran downstairs.
Yeah.
And I was just like self-sufficient till everybody got up, just piling, Frosted Flakes in my face, watching cartoons. Like that whole thing isn't a thing anymore.
Saturday
Hours
morning
of TV
cartoons
just
is-
for me.
Yeah.
I remember when we
Saturday
had
morning
stuff to
cartoons
do
was the
on
thing.
Saturday morning. Like if we had to wake up early to go somewhere on Saturday morning, I felt like I was being robbed of that time.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Why do you think that went away? Like what was the thing? What was the mechanic that ended up like destroying Saturday morning cartoons just as a thing?
Netflix.
I think
No,
Donovan
it's
kinda
been
nailed
gone
it.
way
No.
before Netflix existed.
No,
What
I
is
know.
it that
Like
was the
cartoons
programming
were-
too valuable back then? Like they realized they could make more money doing infomercials instead of cartoons.
I think the cartoons became omnipresent. Like it wasn't just that one dedicated time. I mean, think about like TGIF was the same way with like the wholesome family content on Friday.
Right.
And then some board meeting was like, why are we only having this on Friday? There's all these other days of the week that we're missing out. So spread the wealth instead of having that concentrated like 3 or 4 hours. And then the infomercials came on after the Saturday morning cartoons, and I guess it was time to go outside.
Yeah, but the advertisers knew what block of time to advertise to if they knew kids were sitting down watching that specific time period. That's when all your cartoon, your video game commercials were at. That was all your stuff dedicated for you. If you missed, that was the worst part of like missing school and like watching like The Price is Right. All the ads were not targeted to me. That was the worst part is like watching TV when you're not at school. Like, oh, I don't care about Metamucil. I want to watch stuff about like
AARP
NES.
commercials
Yeah,
and
exactly.
how to get a reverse loan on your house.
I think there should be a documentary on Saturday morning cartoons, just the whole idea
The
of
why?
it. Yeah,
Reasoning
it's
behind it.
I
interesting.
think they should. I think they should reverse that ruling that you can't advertise the kids with cartoons because that gave us some of the best cartoons and best toys ever.
No, Bob's
Come on.
kids have a thing where like Saturday mornings are cartoon times. Like
Yeah.
they can watch shows on Saturday morning. And so when Deacon went to go spend the night, he came back like, I don't know, in the afternoon. He was like, we watched this and this and this and this and this. It's like, oh, you did, huh? we dangle like cartoons and TV as a reward, which I think is maybe another reason for the downfall, is that it's TV's not just I don't know, I can speak very generally. TV may not be quite the babysitter as it was back in the 80s, or it's socially acceptable to be the babysitter as it was back in the day. But
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I have fond memories of my dad sitting me in front of the TV and basically just walking away.
You guys remember that?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm holding
Those
up
are
an
fun.
advertisement. It was the ABC.
Ghostbusters
morning.
came on next.
Yeah, for those that are listening, it's a GIF of a claymation fire hydrant splashing water out of the side at a dog, and it's ABC. After these messages, we'll be right back. Ad.
It was a running gag because the dog would always try to pee on the fire hydrant.
Right.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, last week you posted a video about the hankering for a hunk of cheese video.
Yeah, man.
And I showed it to my wife, and she's like, "What in the world is this?" I was like, "Okay, you did not watch cartoons on Saturday morning." It's a wagon wheel. It's a wagon wheel.
When cheese was promoted to be one of the healthiest things you can eat.
That's exactly what it was talking about. It was like the awesomely
That's right.
nutritional benefits of cheese. And that guy was a block of cheese, so he was pretty much advertising for cannibalism. Like, murder all my people, because it's yummy. The refrigerator raider.
Okay. So I looked it up real quick, and it says, what killed Saturday morning cartoons? Cable, streaming, which I don't believe that because that was way after.
Yeah.
And then it says the FCC, which sounds more likely. It says in the 90s, FCC began more strictly enforcing its rule requiring broadcast networks to provide a minimum of 3 hours of quote-unquote educational programming every week. Networks afraid of messing with their primetime slots found it easier to cram this required programming in the weekend morning slot. Actual educational content of this live-action programming is sometimes debatable, but it meets the letter of the law. And that actually makes sense because I do remember seeing like a lot of the Animal Planet sort of style stuff with all those Jeff, what's his face, like the animal, the animal wranglers and all that sort of programming after the cartoons. I hated that stuff. I'm like, why don't I have cartoons right now? And it kind of slowly creeped in. But
what about the ones that were on Sunday morning? Does anyone remember Captain Power?
Nope.
Sounds familiar.
Captain Power was this experiment where the toys would interact with the TV show. So they had light gauges on them, and if if the TV flashed a certain spectrum, your spaceship would blow up in your hand.
What?
And every once in a while, it didn't work the other way. Like every once in a while, you'd have they'd say you could shoot your TV too, and then you can affect the show. And
I had one of these.
I don't
Okay,
recall
dude,
this.
Captain Power blew my mind.
It was like a spaceship that had like
yeah.
a pistol grip on the back, and it shot little. Yeah, I had one of these.
I gotta see if that's around. Captain, that was such a great idea. I would love to see that rebooted as an actual like serious TV series, not so campy, but God, that was fun.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Oh man. All right. So we done listing obscure cartoons.
We could do that forever, but
No, you could do that forever.
no, see, I could do it forever, but I would jog all of your memories. And then you'd be like, oh God, yeah, oh God.
I think my memory is fried.
I think this is the part in the chronological timeline where we started caring about girls. And so then cartoons took us back seat. Blue's Clues and Barney took over. And
I think it's in the 90s, and I stopped watching cartoons around that time. At least voluntarily. My brothers would have them on, but I would try not to pay attention. Unless Batman or Superman were on, because I liked those. But that's
X-Men.
There were a couple exceptions, but
Bobby's World.
so what are you guys geeking out about?
Avengers.
Yep.
Avengers.
I'm doing everything I can to not see a spoiler for the
Same.
next week or so.
Okay, so do we have a timeline for us to do the spoiler cast? Because we need to talk to Daryl from Broken Nerd. Get him back.
Well, I will be seeing Black Panther and Ready Player One within the week. Avengers, I have to plan a little further for.
Why not just drop Ready Player One and watch Black
you
Panther
can
and
drop
Avengers?
Ready Player One.
Well, no, I have Ready Player One and Black Panther.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But my wife wants to see Avengers, and it's been 10 years, so I kind of have to take. I'm going to take her. She enjoys those movies, so we just got to get a point where we can get a babysitter and go see it, which should be within the next week. But
Okay.
Well, let us know when you're scheduling to see it. That way we could actually
Yes.
plan this other stuff out.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we'll just kind of leave that as the standing geek out because of
Agreed.
that's a huge event. So. All right. Well, we'd love to hear from all of you. Go ahead and check out our website, makinggeeks.com. On the contact page, you can list any questions or comments that you have for the show. We read all the comments that we get, and a lot of times we'll mention whatever you said on the show, and sometimes give shout-outs. Just kind of depends on what the context of your message is. And right there on the homepage of the site, go ahead and check out all of our past episodes you could listen to right there, and take a look at all of our past guests we've had on the show on makinggeeks.com.
And check us out across all the social medias. You can find us on Instagram at Making Geeks Podcast and on Facebook and Twitter at Making Geeks.
And we'd like to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/makinggeeks for keeping this show on the air. It's their episodic donations that help give us opportunity to do things like Maker Faire and get the stickers made to pass out and other requirements to keep us engaged with each other and with you guys. So thank Mr. Seth Williams for being the top patron as usual. And if you'd like to help us out, head over to patreon.com/makinggeeks.
And if you want to learn more about us individually, you can find Wes's work at geeksmithing.com or on Twitch. We've been doing some awesome Twitch streams lately.
Thanks.
That's also at Geeksmithing. You can find Sean's work at geekbuilders.net. You can find Mark at asylum-3d.com. And you can find my work at thepiworkshop.com, which I just recently updated. And if you're in the live stream, you're going to hear these guys kind of helping me with my website, retuning it, fine-tuning it. So go check that out. I put some new content out there. But thank you all for sticking around with us. we doing it? We're not doubling up anymore, right? We're on schedule. So if you like the Wednesday episodes, then great. But they may be on pause for a while because we just needed to do those to ensure that we hit 100 at Bay Area Maker Faire. So if you are anywhere in the Western Hemisphere or the Near Eastern Hemisphere, you should find yourself in it's about 3 weeks away, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 3 weeks from now. San Mateo, California at Bay Area Maker Faire. Come hang out with us live. We're going to be doing our 100th episode. It's going to be a great time. So come on out and see us, as well as a host of other awesome makers there. So it's not just us. We hope you all have a fantastic week.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Yabba dabba doo.
And big thanks to you guys in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us and sticking it out. It's fun to interact with you guys. It definitely adds an element of spontaneity and fun.
That extra interaction actually helps us too.
Yep.
The fifth chair.
That's right. One over, we're
Hey,
like,
Sean,
hey,
man,
what
it
do we
was
talk
good
about?
It was good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by today. And we'll see you all next week. I gotta go to bed.
Yep. Agreed. Hope,
Yeah.
try to do
It's a
Thursday.
bedtime.
Sweet.
I need to go try dinner.
Later, guys.
Night, everybody.
Later, guys.
See ya. All right, Wes. I probably won't check for the episode for the Adair, so I have to finish editing the one for tomorrow tonight. So.
Okay. Cool. I'll send you the link.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Bye. Now they're all gone. It's just us. They're gone now. Hey. Y'all have a good one. See ya.